Welcome everyone to It's Vinylly Mine and our vinyl countdown, counting down the last days of 2020, celebrating by giving you a Vinylly Mine episode every day. And today, well, you knew it, we had to. We covered The Last Jedi a while back, so of course we have to cover The Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker soundtrack, yes, came out. The movie came out last year. Very divisive among the fandom. Just the sequel trilogy in general really has brought out some very interesting conversations in the Star Wars circles. But bringing this conversation here, we're talking about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker double LP 180-gram vinyl release put out by Walt Disney Records. This is number D003293301, released March 27th of 2020, composed, conducted, and produced by the man himself, John Williams. Recorded by and mixed by Sean Murphy. Yes, this unfortunately was a bit bittersweet soundtrack, as it was Williams who announced that this would be his last Star Wars score that he would compose for. So that's a little bit bittersweet, of course, but I'm looking forward to looking at this release and see what this looks like compared to the Last Jedi release we looked at a while back. So let's drop the needle and take a closer look, shall we? Okay, so we've got our Batblade, and yes, a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. It matches the title scheme that they did with The Last Jedi, and I don't have it yet for The Force Awakens, but that is also the same. So keeping in the style with the trilogy, keeping them all looking the same, much like the film posters. Some of them anyway. So I really like that. I like that consistency, though. Of course, the Star Wars is in different colors. Here we have it in blue with the Rise of Skywalker in the middle. And I forgot to point it out, I think, on The Last Jedi, but it was the same there too. They've embossed Star Wars. So it's actually, I don't know if you can catch it, but you can see they actually have Star Wars raised here, which is really cool, which is a great quality. The fact that it's raised, just giving it that texture is really interesting. Of course, on the back of a star field, which just, mimics that opening of the Star Wars, and yes, music by John Williams. On the back of it, we have, basic track listing here. Nothing too fancy. They kept it simple with just the tracks from the various score sound cues. So I appreciate that quite a bit. And it's still effective, I think, for sure. Now, let's check out the gatefold. Now, in The Last Jedi, there was this big, huge artistic scene of the battle. And, check this one out. Okay, I'm digging this a hell of a lot better than the gatefold art that they had for in Last Jedi, for sure. Rey against Kylo Ren, and wow, this looks awesome right here. Really stands out. A great moment in the movie, captured with some wonderful artwork. So such great detail, and this would make a great poster as well. So what do we have in here? Ooh, this is nice. The sleeve is in a solid black. It is definitely 180 grams, which is always good. You got that great weight to it. Ooh, tore it just a little. Great. That's lovely. There goes its value, right? And what do we have here? We have Rise of Skywalker. Wow, the blueprint here is actually a little bit hard to see. That's interesting that you can see it sideways, obviously, because, when you put it on the record player, you're going to be reading it at an angle anyway. But it's interesting that they did that. The color doesn't really stand out, and the title actually stands out more when you have it on an angle. So disc 1 side A and disc 1 side B. So unlike some of the other Star Wars releases, they did not put the alternate the sides, which a little disappointing, but not bad. And I'm suspecting the other album, other record will be the same. as well as that one, which it is. They've, again, foregone the track listing on the records and instead just put the credit of John Williams and the title of the movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, unless you're sitting there and trying to turn your head to try to read, the titles on it. That's why you've got it on the back of the sleeve, the album cover. So we're going to take a break here, listen to this pressing, see if it's any better than the previous Last Jedi release, as well as let you know my favorite track and a couple other tidbits. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, you want to help us decide what we review here on It's Vinylly Mine? Then head on over to www.patreon.com/specialmarkproductions. It's our Patreon page where we have 3 great tiers for you to join. If you join our top tier, you get early access to all the videos we post on YouTube. Plus, you get to participate in a poll to decide on what we review on It's Vinylly Mine, and you get a poll to decide what the VIP episode will be for the month exclusively for our patrons. We got a lot of great content there, so head on over there and we hope to see you soon. And we were back just from listening to this pressing of this 2 LP 180 gram vinyl release of Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars soundtrack. And let me tell you, it's a great soundtrack. It's John Williams going out with a bang. I enjoyed many of the tracks on this soundtrack. Now, before we get to what tracks I enjoyed, I did find something extra in here that we saw it in the Last Jedi release, and they do actually have one here, folks. Let's fold this just for a minute and take a look at this picture book that is included with the vinyl release here. Now, here we've got our wonderful droids from the film on here, and it wraps around to the back. So it's first off a great photo right there. Look at me just stumbling all over the place. So excited that I found this. I should have figured I should have looked deeper, right? I should have. But anyway, so that's a great picture there. And then in the inside, we've got a little story of J.J. Abrams and how he feels about John Williams. It's a very touching story. And then we just get this wonderful picture book of these stills from the film, and there Rey is looking just badass. And our track listing here, which Anthem of Evil is really good, I thought. It is very haunting, great blend of the classic and newer themes in here. This Side B, the reunion, all three, there's only 3 tracks on Side B of Disc 2. And why? Well, the finale is like a 9-minute track that's a greatest hits of all the music from the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. I mean, it works all those classic themes in there. You can tell it's John Williams just doing this final send-off in a beautiful fashion, and it's a little bittersweet listening to it, knowing that this is going to be the last new Star Wars music we get from John Williams. And but it's definitely worth it, and this photo book is awesome. Great picture of Chewbacca, Rey, Finn, and Poe, and that's bittersweet. Seeing Carrie Fisher's picture and that hug right there. Here we go is the entire orchestra and the folks who did all the music, worked the instruments, if you will, for the music. So it's great that they list everybody in there. Billy Dees shows up in here. This is just a great book. I dig all these stills. They picked some fantastic stills to feature in this book. And a nice message here as well about from John Williams, and a great picture of him as well. So this photo book is great. It has that nostalgia feel, not only visiting those scenes from the film, but also just getting you kind of right here for John Williams' final Star Wars send off, and the soundtrack in general is solid. It's John Williams. I like the music that he's done for the sequel trilogy. I enjoy a lot more than the music he did for the prequels. Although Revenge of the Sith is a decent score, and Duel of Fates is probably one of the best themes to come out of Star Wars after the original trilogy music. So, yeah, a lot of great stuff on here. He works in a lot of the classic themes, though, as well. So there is still new music in here. He works in Rey's theme here and there, but you can really tell that this is him giving that nostalgic tinge that the film had, and also just send off that I think is very worthy for this body of music that John Williams has put together for the Star Wars films. So, enough of me rambling. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of his, and I am a big fan of this soundtrack, and I think you'll enjoy it too. The pressing is in decent quality as well. I liked it. There weren't very many flaws at all with it. I think it's a nice, clear audio on it, and yeah, I think this is worth a pickup. Even if you don't exactly enjoy the film, or if you have problems with the film, everyone's going to have problems with things that they love, when there's something a little different. And for me, I enjoy all of the Star Wars films in their own way. The sequel trilogy I enjoy more than the prequels, but the original trilogy will always be near and dear to my heart. And however you feel about it, you got to admit, John Williams is a master at scores, and this soundtrack is definitely proof of that. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker 2LP set. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already. We got great tiers there, including a spot where you can decide what we review here on It's Vinylly Mine. Also, subscribe, hit thumbs up, and all that great stuff. We continue our vinyl countdown with 2 more episodes to round out 2020. Stay tuned for those, and remember, it's not yours, it's Vinylly Mine, and I'll catch you on the flip side.